Hi everyone and welcome to Boothy's Bites. Boothy, how are you? Have you recovered from the Philippines trip?
Hey Jackie, yeah, good. My tan is fading very quickly, which is a big shame. Not that we had much time to tan; it was a very busy conference and catch up with the team. But no, yeah, going good. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I didn't really come much with a tan from the Philippines. I was sunburnt, so that's needed.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Given I was too, yeah.
All right, let's jump straight in. So, what's the latest news and movements coming out of the RBA?
Yeah, so I mean, look, it's been interesting. The month of the month that we've had. So I think last month we talked a bit about inflation and how that number has certainly cooled off a little bit. And again, we've had another sort of update on inflation, which is with the trajectory of the inflation is in line with where the RBA wants it to go. So it's incrementally coming down, and hopefully by sort of early next year we're at that close to that 3% mark, being the 2 to 3% band the RBA want. Interestingly, the biggest, I suppose, changes in inflation for the month were down to reduced energy prices, I think it was, and also some cost of living for elderly as well, which actually has been supplemented by the government and Treasury. So we're in this really, really crazy environment whereby that we've kind of got the government trying to spend and stimulate activity and provide confidence, from a fiscal perspective. And then monetary policy, the RBA is trying to slow down inflation and tighten inflation. So we've kind of got these two, I suppose, big bodies and big voices, which are a little bit in conflict with each other, which has certainly been the case this week. Because I think we mentioned in last month's commentary that the next focus for everyone will be growth. And we had a GDP figure which was really, really low for the quarter. I think it was 0.2% for the quarter, which is 1% for the year, which is a really, really low growth figure for the Australian economy. And in fact, one of the lowest forecast growth figures that we've had for, I think, 20, 30 years, which is quite huge. So, yeah, there's a very difficult and a disconnect between monetary policy and fiscal policy right now. Interesting.
Very interesting. Watch this space, like always. And so, what are some lenders that have caught your eye for this month?
Yeah, well, again, with this, this inflation coming down and the forecast for interest rates now being more certain for interest rates to come down. Yeah, look, we've got some really, really good. Number one, Bendigo Bank. They've been super, super competitive. So Bendigo Adelaide Bank, that's their kind of new entity. And yeah, look, our brokers are loving one, the service, two, the product, and three, the interest rate. So that's a big take for me. And, we're looking at interest rates around 6.04%. The second big change for me as well this month has been Macquarie Bank. So traditionally, Macquarie Bank, they play with a very competitive variable interest rate, and that's pretty much it. They don't price fixed, and they've never really been competitive in the fixed interest rate landscape. Well, a couple of weeks ago, they changed their fixed rates, and they are well ahead of the pack. So they've got, 5.79% fixed rate now for 2 to 5 years for an owner occupier place, principal and interest, which is a really, really cheap rate. So, Macquarie Bank would be one of the biggest and fastest growing home lending businesses in Australia. They're super competitive. They're, definitely the fifth pillar. And for them to come and price really aggressively in fixed rates, I think they've got confidence that interest rates will come down and will have to come down quite quickly because, again, they're still looking to play the margin game, and that's what they're doing here as well.
Yeah, very interesting about Macquarie. We love that.
Yeah, and I had that other. You mentioned about that other product as well. Are you going to tell us what your research came up with our eco product?
Yeah, so an eco loan is you can take the reins from here, Boothy.
Yeah, no. So, well, look, anyway, so we've got Bank of Australia, which actually do have really heavily discounted variable rate for home borrowers at 5.69%. Now, that comes with the condition for the consumer that they actually have an eco-friendly home. And what does that mean? Well, in this day and age, many houses are graded for their eco-friendliness. And one of those things, again, is solar power to make it eco-friendly. So obviously contributing electricity back into the grid and things like that. So if you're interested in trying to get your home to this sort of clean energy, eco-friendly space, I don't know the rules 100%, but I'll learn them with you. And we'll try get you the cheapest interest rate in market, which is Bank of Australia, clean energy, 3 years fixed rate, principal and interest, 5.69%.
Yeah, great. Sounds good to me. I like the sound of that eco loan. Maybe I'll have to hit you up for an eco loan for Jackie Bowker.
Perfect. On with it.
And so let's talk about lending for small businesses. So, what are some lending options available for small business owners?
Yeah, so the small lending space is quite interesting. There's two parts to it. Number one, I think last month we talked a little bit about businesses who've got some legacy issues with tax office and the ATO. The ATO haven't been quite as friendly of late, and they do want their money back. So we're working with a lot of clients right now in actually managing tax debt and actually refinancing and cleaning things up and then getting them back on track. Obviously, at the same time, while we're talking to clients and they've got small businesses, we're looking at products which are number one, interest rate friendly, and number two, have longer terms for the facilities. So a lot of business owners, if they go and get a business product, it's high price and short term traditionally, okay? And I'm talking about your spot caps, some of these short term lenders in the main, okay? If you've got some equity in a home and we can borrow against that home for business, which is totally appropriate, we can get your home loan rates, which are obviously closer to 6% than sort of 8-9%, and in some instances 10, 12, 15%. And secondly, the term around that loan, we can actually tie it in with your home loan as well, and potentially manage that cash and that debt out to 30 years. Now, again, we're borrowing for business, so we need to make sure that the term of the loan is, and the repayment of that loan is in accordance with your accountant's guidance. But nonetheless, we can actually borrow cheaply and have flexibility for the borrower. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sounds
So
good.
come see us, yeah. But it's not for everyone, and come see a specialist small business broker, which we have lots of at Lydian.
Yes, we do. Now, I'd love to ask you, what is a reverse mortgage and what purposes can it serve?
Yeah, so again, this is not for everyone, and it's a very specialized product, okay? And also with this product as well, just sort of disclaiming that you do need to get some financial advice, do need to get legal advice, and we're dealing with more mature borrowers, okay? What I'm talking about right now is people, seniors and people who typically are in that sort of retirement stage, pension stage. What we've found in market is there's a lot of people who are retired. They've got a very, very large and expensive home, okay? And we're talking about, eastern suburbs, grandma's living in a $3-4 million home in 𝐒�oughgy, okay? Classic example. Now, she may be living very frugally on the pension. She doesn't have assets outside of that family home with which to maintain the home, go on holidays and live a quality life. So the reverse mortgage has got an exception from being able to demonstrate affordability, and you're allowed to and the mature person is allowed to tap into the equity of the property. And the reason for that is the product has no defined requirements for repayment. What will actually happen is the interest of the cost of that loan will capitalize on the loan until that borrower pays off the loan, sells the property, or sadly passes away, right? So that's just the way it is. But as you can see there's a lot of people in Australia who are sat on these very large property assets. They don't want to sell them. They need to maintain them and keep them, up to scratch. Potentially, they want to go on holidays, buy new things, have a nice lifestyle. So by being able to tap into the equity is a really invaluable thing for them to maintain that quality of life. The other thing as well, if clients are thinking about moving into aged care communities, aged care services, and it may well just be one of the partners, it might be the spouse having to go into care, we can actually borrow money for the bonds and things to get clients in there as well. So look, I'm a 53-year-old bloke. My mum and dad, touch wood, they're very healthy right now, but these are conversations which potentially you're having with mum and dad or grandma and granddad, and these are some simple ways that we can actually help them with a better quality of life and actually go through that sort of financial component of moving into homes as well. Yeah, so again, reach out to a qualified broker, which Lydian has.
We have many. And so to wrap up, what's the latest news coming out of Lydian HQ?
Well, I think we're all exhausted from partying too hard and having karaoke in the Philippines. So I think, if we didn't highlight what a great team we've got, and Jackie, it was wonderful to have you join us in Cebu for the first time and meet many of the guys and girls who are doing all the work behind the scenes for, one, the brokers, and two, our marketing team and accounting team and everything. So yeah, the trip to the VBP conference was great. The other cool thing about that was we were able to go meet with many of our existing business partners. So lots of financial planners who are already locked into the Lydian lending as a service. And secondly, for us to prospect with new partners and have drinks and sell the service of Lydian. And it's not hard to sell, right? We're doing great things for other people. We just got to tell them about it. And I've got plenty of meetings booked post-conference with Roxy to go do that. And I know you've done lots of videos to lots of people as well. So thank you so much for that. But a great trip. And I know it's only once a year the conference is on, but we'll definitely get out to see the guys and girls in the operations team, in between conferences, I think, so it was a really cool trip.
Yeah, I agree. What an experience. And I must admit, my highlights from the conference was meeting our team, our VBP team, and also singing karaoke with them. You should have had Boothy on karaoke.
and 1,000 people wishing Jackie happy birthday, in the gala night. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, it was a good month, and tired but really excited for September, October.
Definitely. Bring it on.
Cool.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Boothy. And we will see everyone for another edition of Boothy's Bites next month.
Thank you, guys. And thank you, Jackie. See you. Take care.
See ya.
Ciao. Bye.